So tomorrow should be a great day. Back to you, Karlen.
I would like to kick off a new segment called Surprising Space. Later, we will talk to famous astronaut Karlen Wilson. First, let me tell you about the planets and how the solar system got started. The solar system was born among the billions of stars in the Milky Way galaxy. A huge cloud of dust and gas began to pull together to form a globe. It became very hot and became known as our sun. It blasted away the nearby gases and dust into a spinning oval ring. As the particles began to cool, they clumped together. This became known as the solar system. 9 planets travel around the sun in paths called orbits. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars are called inner planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are called 4 giant outer planets. Pluto is the smallest planet, and it is an outlier from the rest of the planets. 7 of the planets have moons circling around them. Asteroids, minor planets, also orbit the sun. These rocks circle the sun in an asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Meteorites and comets also travel around the sun. How big is the sun? If the sun was hollow, it could fit 1.3 million Earths inside of it. Without the sun, there would be no living thing that is on our planet Earth. The planets can be separated into 2 groups, the inner and gas planets, giants. Let's look at the gas giants first. Jupiter is a giant gas planet. It is the 5th planet from the sun. The big red circle is still thought to be a hurricane on the planet. Saturn is the 2nd largest planet after the sun. It is the 6th planet from the sun. The rings around this planet actually are made up of thousands of rings within rings. If you looked really hard, you would see that the tiny rings are really made up of ice. Uranus is the 7th planet from the sun. It rotates with the south end towards the sun. Neptune is like most other planets because it is made up of gases too. It often has dark storms and giant hurricanes. The largest storm is big enough to swallow the whole entire Earth. Winds can blow up to 700 miles per hour. That's the fastest speed ever recorded on a planet. Now looking a little closer to home, here is NASA's latest famous astronaut, Karlen Wilson. He's going to tell us about the moon. So Karlen, what is the moon anyway?
Well, it is a barren place with no living things on it.
Oh, so what about the changes that we see in the night sky?
We call the changes phases. They go from an all-dark moon to a silver crescent, and then to a full moon, and then back again. It takes only 29 days for this change to occur.
If I were to walk on the surface of the moon, what would I see?
The moon's surface is covered with thousands of bowl-shaped holes called craters. They are formed by meteorites and asteroids crashing into the moon. It is covered by mountains, hills, valleys, and flatlands, much like Earth.
Thank you, Karlen, for your visit. We'll be sure to stay in touch.
Thank you.
Now let's get back to the planets. They're probably very lonely, and talk about the solid planets. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. It revolves quickly around the sun, but rotates very, very slowly. A day on Mercury is as long as a year on Earth. It is the 2nd smallest planet after Pluto. Mercury is only visible at night. It is an airless planet. It rises to 750 degrees Fahrenheit during the day because it is so close to the sun. At night, it drops to minus 300 degrees Fahrenheit, colder than our South Pole. Venus is the brightest object in the night sky after our moon. Venus rotates east to west, the opposite of most other planets in our solar system. It is smaller than our moon. When it is close to Earth, it appears much larger than when it is on the other side of the sun. The clouds covering the surface reflect light so well that it appears bright even when it is far away. Venus is sometimes called Earth's sister planet because they are about the same size, but it is very different from Earth. It is our hottest planet in our whole entire solar system. Earth can be called oceans or water because of the large amounts of water. It is bigger than Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Pluto. It is smaller than Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. As it orbits the sun, Earth spins like a giant top. One complete spin is called a day. For part of the year, the northern half has summer because it is closer to the sun, while the southern half has winter, and vice versa. It is covered by a deep layer of rock called the crust. It floats on the mantle, a thick, heavy layer of melted rock. The moon is Earth's closest neighbor in space, about 250,000 miles away. Mars is the fourth planet from the sun. It has craters, mountains, and valleys. The surface is covered by orange-red dusty soil. It is very cold there. Scientists still fight about what's really on Mars. Now there's one planet left to talk about. Some now don't even think it's even a planet. I'm talking about Pluto. Pluto is the 9th planet in our solar system. It has an odd stretched and tilted orbit which brings it closer to the sun. It is a dwarf planet and is the coldest in our solar system. It appears to be an ice bowl of water mixed with rock. There are a couple of other interesting areas I do not want to forget to cover. The asteroid belt lies between Mars and Jupiter. It contains lumps of rock much smaller than planets. These lumps are called asteroids, or minor planets. There are probably several million asteroids in the solar system. Over 96,000 asteroids have been given numbers. Almost 12,000 of them have names. Comets mostly orbit the sun and circle the dark edges of the solar system. From the sun, comets just look like a dirty snowball. Meteorites are small pieces of metal or rock. If one enters the Earth's atmosphere, we see a bright streak of light across the sky. Our bodies are made up from some of the same atoms that formed the sun, stars, planets, and everything else. Truly, we are all children of our universe. Thank you for watching our space segment, Surprising Space. Stick with us next week to see a tour of NASA. Back to you, Karlen.